You finish a long day, drop onto the couch, and put a show on in the background while you scroll through your phone. You aren't doing any actual work. It registers, loosely, as rest. Yet you wake up the next morning feeling exactly as depleted as when you went to sleep. If you were born somewhere between the late 1970s and the mid-1980s, the demographic sometimes called Xennials, you carry a specific memory gap. You remember what a slow Saturday afternoon actually felt like before reachability was a requirement. That memory is the baseline your nervous system still expects. You grew up in a world with long stretches of unstructured, analog silence. Then, right around your 20s, gradually and then all at once, that environment was replaced by one that demands constant connection. This exhaustion stems from the tension between the quiet your nervous system remembers and the relentless pace it manages now. You are navigating a permanent conflict between your internal expectations and your external reality. To understand why that conflict feels so heavy, we have to look at the biological reality of introversion. An introverted nervous system absorbs and processes incoming stimulation far more deeply than an extroverted one. Because it handles information with that kind of depth, it also reaches a state of overwhelm much faster. When you place that deeply processing biology into a modern world that expects constant, unbroken digital connection, the system never gets the chance to clear the backlog. The inputs accumulate until the system runs hot. You watch your extroverted peers adapt, or even gain energy from the group chats and full inboxes, and you wonder what's wrong with you. You know that quiet, restorative rest is a real thing, but because you can't seem to reach it anymore, you feel like you are failing at adult life. Burnout at this level happens because you are trying to run two incompatible operating systems at once, a biological body built for quiet depth, trapped inside a daily routine that treats constant availability as the default setting. You look around the office and see plenty of people managing open floor plans, Slack notifications, and back-to-back video calls without visibly falling apart. The quiet conclusion you draw is that your exhaustion is a character flaw, a lack of resilience. That conclusion is entirely wrong. Your exhaustion is your introverted brain performing exactly as it evolved to do. It accumulates a massive amount of input across a workday, processes it deeply, and then signals the rest of your body that it requires a reset. This animated thermostat shows how modern digital life prevents that reset. Instead of turning the heat off so the room can return to a resting temperature, the digital environment runs it constantly at a low setting, around the clock. Your system never reaches baseline. When that heavy depletion settles in by Thursday afternoon, pause. Ask yourself if this exhaustion is accurate biological information from a system that needs quiet. You cannot fix a biological problem if you continue diagnosing it as a character flaw. Dropping the shame is the prerequisite for everything else. Once you accept your biology, the trap is treating solitude as a reward. You tell yourself you'll take some time to decompress once the project wraps, once the inbox is clear, once you've earned it. Solitude is a mandatory biological function for an introverted nervous system. You wouldn't negotiate with your body to earn sleep or food. Solitude requires the exact same strict, non-negotiable scheduling. The difficulty lies in how the culture shifted around you. Immediate digital availability morphed into a metric for your character. Answering a text within minutes shows you care. Going offline for an evening signals distance or a lack of commitment. Look at this cup. Every single notification is a micro-interruption. Dozens of small activations across multiple apps demand a tiny shift in attention. It doesn't look like a major drain in the moment, but by 5 p.m., your capacity is entirely hollowed out. Setting digital boundaries, turning off evening notifications, or stepping away from the group chat provides the basic maintenance required to remain a functional person. Ruthlessly protecting your energy capacity is the only mechanism that works. When you arrive at the end of the day with something left in reserve, you are actually capable of being patient and genuinely present for the people who matter. This brings us to fake rest. Lying in bed reading threads you won't remember or watching television while scrolling requires almost no physical effort. Because you aren't working, your mind easily convinces you that you are recovering, but your nervous system is still actively receiving. It is still tracking algorithmic images, audio cues, and the emotional signals of strangers. The input has slowed, but it has not stopped. True recovery requires the total absence of input. It looks like taking a walk without headphones, cooking a meal while the kitchen stays completely silent, or sitting in a low-lit room doing absolutely nothing. In a world optimized for constant output, doing nothing feels uncomfortably close to boredom. But that sensation of boredom is your nervous system finally clearing the residue of the day and decompressing back to its baseline. Reducing the physical effort of your downtime achieves nothing if you do not simultaneously cut off the digital input to your brain. These mindset shifts trigger a cascade. When you drop the shame, you realize solitude is a biological need. When you accept the need, you set boundaries to protect it. And when you set those boundaries, true recovery finally has a quiet place to happen. The immediate step you can take today is a quiet one. When you feel that familiar, hollow flatness at the end of the day, label it correctly. It is biological data telling you your system is full. It is not a personal failure. Then, claim 20 minutes. Pick one window of time today where you sit in total, screen-free stillness. Let it feel boring. Practice the discomfort of an environment that asks absolutely nothing of you. You do not need to justify this time. Your unreachability is an act of care. Protecting your energy during this window is exactly what allows you to show up for your work and your relationships later. A nervous system shaped by a quiet world will always reach for that baseline. Honoring that need allows you to live in this world without losing yourself to it.